Hello everybody, welcome back. I am Renee Brower from Amber Community and I am joined once again by Katie Norman, Senior Managing Solicitor from Law Partners and a valued legal partner of Amber Community. In this episode we'll be talking about future planning, choosing the right legal help and emerging legal trends. Welcome back again, Katie. It's lovely to see you again.
Thank you for having me again.
Katie, can you walk us through about how compensation can help with long-term recovery needs?
Absolutely. So if you can pursue a common law damages claim, and that's where you've been left with a serious injury that was caused by someone else's negligence, you can recover damages for your pain and suffering and also your loss of earnings. And your pain and suffering is the impact of the injury on your day-to-day life. So it's not being able to do social activities, recreational activities, simple things around the home like vacuuming and cooking and cleaning. And then your loss of earnings is designed to compensate you for your ability to work in the future. And so that really, when you recover common law damages, that will hopefully give clients some financial security going forward. For clients, though, that can't pursue a common law damages claim either because they don't have a serious injury or because no one else was at fault for the accident, so either they were at fault for the accident or there was just one of those things that happened, the TAC long term will continue to fund reasonable medical and life expenses that they need into the future. And those can include rehabilitation if they need car modifications, home modifications. So for some clients, they'll only need those for a short period of time. For other clients, they'll need those into the future, and the TAC will continue to fund those as long as they're reasonable and needed. And the medical and life expenses and the funding for the rehabilitation is payable whether or not you're at fault for the accident and whether or not you've got the serious injury. So I think there's some confusion there. Often people think if they were at fault, they can't access those services and support, but they most definitely can. If they weren't at fault and they do have the serious injury, that's when they can go on to recover some monetary compensation on top of the other entitlements.
Thanks, Katie. And it really highlights, how seeking legal advice and support from people such as yourself can be really helpful. And so I guess on that note, what do you think people should look out for when they're choosing a personal injury lawyer?
I think the first thing to look for someone who has experience in the area. So one of the ways you can identify that is look for an accredited specialist. They've been signed off by the Law Institute, having passed exams and tests and assessments as being an accredited specialist in that area. So that should ideally be your starting point because you know that you're going to someone that knows that area and knows that area really well. Once you sort of find that person, I always say to clients, you've got to find someone that you're comfortable talking to. So if you don't feel that you can ask questions, if you feel like they're 10 steps ahead of you and they're at 10 and you're at 0 and you don't understand how to bridge that gap, I don't think that's a solicitor for you. You should go with someone that you're comfortable talking to, that you tell them everything and that you don't feel uncomfortable telling them things to. You feel like they're listening to you and that they take time to understand you and understand your family and understand what you want to achieve out of the system. And even though the entitlements can look very similar, everyone's got a particular thing that they want to achieve, and you want a lawyer who will work with you to try and get what you want and what you need out of the system. But if you feel that you can't ask questions, like I said, if you feel that they're not taking the time to explain things to you or that they're going on their journey, not your journey together, I'd suggest that they're probably not the right solicitor for you. You are with them for a very long time and they are, if they're doing their job correctly, trying to set you up the best they can for the future. So make sure it's someone that, like I said, you're comfortable with and that you really have trust they're going to do the right thing by you.
Great points, and we certainly understand that with the work that we do too, to feel safe and comfortable, especially going through such difficult, stressful periods of time. Katie, are there any emerging legal issues in Victoria's road safety that we should be aware of?
I think there's two main issues. I think the first is driving while distracted continues to be an ongoing problem. So unfortunately, people continue to use their mobile phones when they're driving, not realising that looking away for a split second can lead to disastrous results. The other area that we're seeing emerging is the use of e-scooters. I don't think people realise that often when you're involved in an accident with an e-scooter, you might not have any coverage or access to compensation, and the legislation hasn't quite yet caught up with how prevalent the usage of e-scooters are. So I just caution people to be very careful when using an e-scooter and making sure that you're making your journey as safe as what you can. But those are probably the two legal issues that are emerging. But over time, as technology changes, I'm sure more will continue to pop up.
Thank you, Katie. The information you provided in these episodes have been really valuable, and I'm sure our listeners think that as well. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you, and I hope for those of you out there will feel a lot more informed and a lot more confident in reaching out to a lawyer or the TAC.